Okay, so my background, yeah. So we didn't. I might often say we. I have an identical twin sister, and we were very close over the years up until she moved away to Wales when we were both 31. So when I say we, often that's what I mean. So I came from a non-Christian background. My parents didn't believe at all. We were taught to pray because everybody was in those days. I come from very poor background from London. We lived in Leytonstone. I was born in Forest Gate Hospital in 1960. So it'll be 64 years ago this year, and I always had an awareness or a knowing of the presence of God, and maybe we were taught things at school. I don't really know. Certainly, I attended missions every now and again. So when our family was dispersed and we were moved to a tower block, we were moved to the James Collins Tower at Leyton. We lived on the 13th floor of a 20-storey block that was that since has been demolished because of how it was kind of considered a tower slum eventually. But when we lived there, I can remember going to various missions and things, and also missions that we went to from living in West Street in Leytonstone. And in those missions, kind of saw and heard Bible stories, saw images. I remember seeing posters of Jesus in this desert-like place called the Holy Land, which to me seemed a bit sort of dry and bare. There wasn't much green going on there, but there wasn't much green in East London at the time either, to be honest. Anyway, so my parents eventually started to keep pubs, and kind of opened a pub, did it up, sold it on, and at one stage had a couple of pubs. So we came from a background where we didn't have parents who. This is why when I say I don't understand much about the Lenten, following the Lenten services. I became a Christian in a Church of England, but eventually when we moved, maybe a year and a half later, after I became a Christian, we went to a Baptist church, and so didn't really understand those processes of the Church of England. Since becoming a Christian, and I became a Christian when I heard a talk about God in the Church of England. It was just a little way away from the pub that my parents kept in Norwich, the King Edward VII. And somebody there said, here's you, and here's God, but in between that is all of the things you've done wrong. There's this vast amount of a distance which is called sin. It's what you've done wrong, and they're blocks to God. You can't get through to him without asking for forgiveness. So when you've asked for forgiveness, you can get through to God. So I thought, oh yeah, I wondered why it was. I believed in God, and he was there somewhere, but I didn't know him. And I hadn't sort of asked him to be real and be present with me. So I did that, and from that point on, I believed. Got involved after we moved to Soham in Cambridgeshire, to another pub, the Carpenter's Arms. Got involved in first Soham Baptist and then Isleham High Street Baptist Church. I was baptised by full immersion in Soham Baptist, and I was baptised in the Holy Spirit that summer at Ashburnham Summer Camp by courtesy of the vicar and his wife and their family, Tim, Ruth, Lizzie and Anna, who took us to Ashburnham kind of summer camp. And so here I was, sort of just new to all of these things, and some of what I talk about from the past, my past Christian walk, really concerns being part of a very kind of a church that was very kind of immersed in the Baptist tradition, but that gradually became transformed when the power of the Holy Spirit swept through the country in those late 1970s, early 1980s time. Anyway, that's how I came about my faith.